Hey, this is what I used to use when I was an airline pilot. I may go back to that someday. I may not. Uh, this is not an infomercial. I paid for this myself. It's going to sound like an infomercial. These are like $25 if you find one that's a return on Amazon. I found one that had, a damaged box or something. Amazon Warehouse has those where they'll knock off a few bucks because the packaging is damaged. So, hey, whatever, go for that. So the way this works is obviously you can see it's insulated. You gotta clean that out, a little spill there. But in the bottom, there's this hot plate. And you can see that this is not very big. It's about as big as my hand. And tall wise, I mean, it's a finger depth. The plate inside is about like that. So you can pack this and scrunch it down if you're not using in luggage or travel or whatever. That's primarily what I use it for. But then I also figured, why not use this at home too? Because sometimes I just want to cook something for a while, and it's very low wattage. It's like 45 watts. There are laptops that draw more power than this. Again, 45 watts. So think of what a 40-watt bulb is. It's not very much, but it's insulated, so it just traps the heat up there and it builds up to get very hot. Right now I've got some chicken breasts in here. You don't care what it looks like. That's the juice from the old chicken breast. I say old. I cooked 2 in it last night. It's kind of like throw it in there and forget about it. That's what those look like when they come out. I grilled them a little bit because the foreman was still warm, so I'm like, well, let me throw these on the foreman. I kind of use that to thaw it out. Then I put a couple in the fridge, and I put a couple in here. You can use this basically for just about anything. It's kind of like a crock pot, though. It's not terribly fast, but it does reheat fairly fast. Here's a little pro tip. It's got a little pocket on the side, and I keep foil in there. So you can put a piece of foil on that plate, and you can do like a piece of pizza or something. Or I've actually done donuts. Donuts get crispy on the bottom and gives it like a nice, yeah, Beach Fit Rob eats donuts from time to time. So does Sean T. So there. We eat donuts and cookies and crap too. We're not superhuman. That's not ever what we're going to say that we are. So I'll link to these. It's got a little handy carrying case. This is a different brand. There's 2 brands. This is the cheaper of the 2, but they work the same. I mean, it's not complicated. Mirrored bag with a hot plate in the bottom. I will say that there's also a cigarette lighter version because the wattage is so low that you can actually plug this into a cigarette lighter in your car or truck or whatever. Be driving along and be like, hey, I'm getting hungry, and there it is, hot and ready for you. Because it brings it to a temperature where when you go to eat it, it's like, ooh, ha, 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 kind of hot, that temperature, but it's not too hot. And I've cooked all sorts of stuff in here. I've left things for days, literally. Sometimes I forget, and I'm like, ooh, those green beans or green beans. Those are kind of gross when you cook them too long, but lima beans, those work pretty well because they just kind of get that, kind of lima bean gravy or bean liquor or whatever you want to call that in there. So you really can't overcook with this. Like I said, that was in there all night, and they look a little dry now because they've been out. And that's just chicken breast for you. They're hard to cook without getting them dry anyway. But with a sealed container like that, it keeps the moisture in. So they stay as moist as they're going to stay. This is a glass one. You can actually use most plastics. I've never seen plastic melt much. This lid, one time I left one of these lids directly on the hot plate and it kind of deformed it a little bit. It slowly deformed it over time. It kind of made this part flat, but it didn't really burn or you couldn't smell it, obviously. So yeah, some stuff it will melt. But those microwave safe containers, you should always be good with that. Knock on wood. I've never had one of those melt. A little cheapy, not this. This is my shake cup. But, the kind of containers that are plastic like that you get, in a 6-pack for $7 or whatever. Those haven't melted on me. I wouldn't put styrofoam in here. I would put something on the foil, just fold you up a couple of pieces of foil to keep in there. I have made instant macaroni. That doesn't work out so well because it just gets too soggy. It cooks too long, but you can use it to heat up like some chicken to put in that macaroni, or tuna to heat up that macaroni. I'm pretty sure, once again, knock on wood, I'm pretty sure I've put cans in here, but if I was going to put a can just directly on the plate, I would punch a hole in the can, so the thing doesn't explode. I don't think it would, but it might. I don't remember, honestly, if I've ever done that. Usually, when I travel, I'll just throw one of these in there, because this can also hold food and stuff inside it, and kind of protect that food. Not, chicken breasts, but, I'll throw protein bars in there, and I'll throw, whatever in there that would just be fine, but just to save space. And then if you're ready to cook something, you take them out, put them aside, cook, etc. So anyway, I think that's about all the stuff I can think of. It's a pretty handy little deal. I mean, home and travel for $30. I knew a lot of crew members at the airline that had these because, you get to the hotel late at night. Sorry, I keep saying I'm going to end this, but I keep thinking of things. You get to the hotel late at night, it's 10:30, 11 o'clock at night, nothing's closed. You haven't really eaten all day. Yes, that's the airlines, the slave drive for you. And, you just reach in your bag and you get out that can of chicken and maybe microwave some macaroni and combine those two and you're good to go. Or maybe there's a all-night grocery store open, and your room doesn't have a microwave. You can kind of warm something up kind of fairly quickly with that. And then also put something in that for the next day or the next morning. People do oatmeal. I never did oatmeal. But like the microwavable dishes that are microwavable meals that fit in here, those little tiny cardboard meals, that has like a little side of meat and, some veggies or something in it, and it's cardboard. You don't even have to open that. You can just throw that whole box directly in here and just let it go. And in a few hours it'll be hot. And it won't ever cook it. It'll just be ready to go when you're ready to eat. This is really just a beautiful thing for the amount of money. And if you use this on the road, 3 or 4 times versus buying a meal, you've paid for it. And here, I really will end this here because I just have lots of ideas. I'll just leave them in the comments. But my last one, like Dollar Tree, believe it or not, the Dollar Tree dollar store sells frozen shrimp and salmon. I've seen it at more than one. Now, that might not be the best shrimp and salmon, but you get like a half dozen shrimp for $1 and like a little 4-ounce piece of salmon. That is kind of fishy, but it's like $2 and you're getting shrimp and salmon. And, get you some Cajun seasoning and throw on there. So anyway, any more ideas, I promise I'll leave in the comments. I'll end that here. Thanks for watching. Go ahead and hit like and subscribe. Try to do helpful, real, inexpensive things that real people can do in their busy day. We get that. So thanks for watching. Hope this helps.